Hi, this is Pastoral Night Jim here. I'm here to help you understand that while you may be going through some tough times right now, and yeah, we've all been there, would you believe that a point in my life I was ready to take my own life because there was no professional willing to help me for my obsessive compulsive disorder, and they weren't making my life any easier, and I was suffering very badly, and it was really bad, and I was very depressed. And there was a point where I had tried to take an overdose of clonazepam or Rivotril, and I only managed to take the maximum dosage of it, but I thought it was too much, and I just fell asleep after. I cried out the window and I said, "Mom, I can't take this anymore." See, my mom had died, and I was 28. She died when I was 24, so it was 4 years later. And I look out the window and I go, "Mom, I can't take this anymore. I can't take this anymore." And then I went and I fell asleep. And in that sleep, I had a dream, and I ended up encountering my mother, who was floating in the middle of the living room, just waiting for me in angelic clothes. And I just went up to her and I said, "Mom, I can't take this anymore." And she opened up her arms, and I could hear her, without her mouth moving, I could hear her saying, "Oh, son, everything will be fine. You'll see, everything will be fine." And then I hugged her and I cried and I said, "Mom, I miss you so much." 4 years later, I encounter a movie called Stigmata, designed to discredit the church. And in it, I got the message of what Jesus was all about. And Jesus is about everlasting life. It's not about being separated from God and spending eternity in hell. It's about everlasting life, which we get. And we get it back here on earth later on. Now, I went looking for him. Basically, I went looking for answers, and I come across an old school friend who happened to be Christian and had OCD too. And I didn't expect that. And she helped me out. She helped me become Christian, which was what I was looking for. And she helped me with my OCD like she had help for hers. And finally, the ball got rolling, and 13 years later, and after 7 past years of long, hard work, I'm in remission. And I'm a Christian pastor. You see how things went? See how good things went? Now, you might not be Christian, or you may be Christian, but I'm telling you, without Jesus, you have no strength to get past your problems. No strength that could make it really easy. And if you're Christian, it might be hard for you to understand that God might be testing you and giving you a hard time just to see what you're made of. You see, a test is just to see what your character is like and your patience, to perfect your patience, because He's trying to promote you. And if you pass the test, you're promoted to something better in life. Like Job was promoted. See, Job was tested. He had a certain degree of fame and fortune, but he lost it all, and he wanted to die. I mean, he cursed the day he was born. He wished he was never born. And his friends were no great help either. But what happened to Job? Job stuck to his guns, and he never cursed God one bit. He never took it out on God. He stayed true. But he took it up with God. And he argued with God. And he said, "God, why? Why did you do this to me?" And God turned around and said, "Listen, you who darkens counsel without knowledge." What do you think I mean, he said, do you know anything about Leviathan? And how I can tame Leviathan, yet a man could not do anything for Leviathan? I can, do you know where darkness goes when light shines on it? Do you know its home? Do you know these things? Do you know things that only God would know, that you would never really consider, but you took for granted? But God has these things under control. And Job said that he spoke without really knowing what he was saying, and he was sorry. And he really was sorry. But then God doubly blessed him for what he went through, because God was incited against Job. But the devil couldn't believe that Job would be so such a man of righteous integrity that he wouldn't curse God. And God said, well, you know what you do? Take away everything that he has, and we'll see. I guarantee you he won't. And he never did. He said the Lord will give and the Lord will take away. And Satan says, yeah, but if you take away his health, I'll curse you. And he took away his health, and he never cursed him. But he was pissed off, because he didn't understand why God would do that to him. After all, he's a man of integrity. I mean, he's straight up righteous. I mean, he's the straightest dude that could ever exist at that point. And God turned on him. And why would God turn on the best guy possible? It was to prove a point to the devil. That guys like him, guys that are for me, don't turn around and betray me. And he showed to the devil something, and Job proved it for him. So it was Job against the devil for God's sake. And God won, because Job stuck to his guns. And God doubly blessed him for all his effort. Didn't forget what he went through, and he had more than what he had before. Yes, he had lost some things beforehand, but he gained so much more afterwards. And he still didn't lose everything, because he still has his family in his heart that he lost beforehand, but he had a much better family, and a much more camels, more livestock, more ground, more territory, a lot more stuff. He was doubly blessed. And people who shunned him were his friends again. He gained it. He gained it all back, and more. Just think that you're a blood-bought child. Jesus got slapped, spit on, blasphemed, cursed, made fun of. He was whipped. He had a thorn crown put on his head and mocked. The Son of God, for crying out loud. And he gets nailed to a cross. Nails, even. And he dies and goes to hell on top of it. The Son of God. But for who? For you. You're a blood-bought child. You're not forsaken. And I'm telling you, you have favor in God's eyes. If you can just trust in God. Now, I got news for you. Don't keep Jesus on the shelf. Okay? You know where that master invested his denarii in 3 men, and the last one had buried the denarii and didn't invest it at all, and was the wicked one and lost his denarii, and gave it to the man who had 10, who increased by 10 denarii? Well, Jesus is the denarii, and if you bury Jesus in the ground and keep him on the shelf and not invest him in anyone or in anything, okay, you're going to be a wicked one. Okay? The master trusts you with Jesus. Invest him. Don't keep him on the shelf. Don't be selfish with him. Give him around. Spread him around. Even if he's thrown back in your face, it doesn't matter. Pray for them anyways. Still keep giving Jesus. Jesus is the one to spend. And Jesus is the man. He is the man for everyone. He's the man for you. It's not God the Father. It's Jesus. Jesus is the one. Hold him near and dear to your heart. You can accomplish miracles. You can do anything with him. stick with Him. Okay? You'll see. You'll get through it. You will. It might seem bleak. You may think that, God, why do you even bother? It's like you're a no-show. You're wrong. Jesus is the show. And you got Him. It's about time you spread Him to get a return. Because that's how God does it.